That's a plug that we can put in.
Game Over Supply Co. Buy it when it's out.
Hey everybody!
What's up, look who's back from the dead.
I was kind of dead. I was clocking like 100 and some odd fever for like a week.
I know. You haven't been in any videos for like 2 weeks straight.
I know.
And I was very concerned.
I've been so busy and I got really sick and then my car broke down. It has just been a cycle of life is like, hey, here's everything at once.
And then you just
deal with it.
Keeping it raw at Game Over HQ. And by that I mean my basement with a white backdrop.
But we'd like to go into some predictions on what we think the next game is going to be. Now there's always a couple of guys that are leakers.
From like China or something.
From Japan or China or somewhere they don't ever really disclose. But usually they're 70% accurate.
Yeah.
And we use some of the information that they created as well as our knowledge of the company's history, the games, and just the predictability ratio of Pokemon itself to try and come up with some more
not set in stone, but like it's plausible.
Our plausible conclusions of what the next Pokemon game could be. You know, like starters, legendaries, a little bit of lore, villains, so on, so forth. Simply for the fact that one, it wasn't that hard to predict with the information that we had from the leaks that happened like months ago. And
actually, I think it happened back in 28.
That was months ago, dude. It's February.
No, I think it was like back in March.
Yeah, so that'd be a while. But the based off of that information, we were able to kind of extrapolate our own conclusions, and we could be completely wrong.
And disclaimer right now:
we're probably completely wrong. But you know what? It'll be darn cool if we're actually right about something. And you heard it here first, guys. Right here at Game Over.
So the first thing that the Chinese leaker said is that it was going to be based on some European region, mainly Spain. They think that that's going to be the main focal point of the region is based on Spain.
Now I'm going to ping off of you. Here's why. Yes, Europe has a lot of countries. Most of them are smaller. They were formed after World War II. So typically Pokemon has a trend of going with things that are more established, things that are like publicly well known. They've already done France, which was Kalos, and I see it unlikely that they actually would use the UK. I mean, yeah, it's cool. There's Big Ben, Parliament.
Oh yeah, Spain is established, so I think they might go with that. So let's get into more like the lure part of it. So we got the region based on Spain, and then we have like some Spanish lure that we're going to try and...
Not lure.
What, you don't want to throw a lure on this?
A lure is for fishing. A lore is for storytelling.
Fishing. So the lore...
You said it right this time.
It's going to be based off Spain. The legendaries are going to be tied into Spanish culture somehow. But, so, what they did confirm is that it was going to be like New Age versus tradition. So, one's going to set place in like the New Age with all like this technology and stuff. And one's going to be more traditional. Want to like keep things like holy
and like
sacred.
I would say not quite tribal, but I mean kind of tribal if you get the idea.
Like, keep like the core values.
Yeah.
So
like conquistador Spanish heritage type thing.
Yeah. But so like with the New Age game, the bad guys we think are going to want to bring back the tradition because they're kind of like the old guys that live in the area here. Like, well, I remember back in my day. But so that'll be that, and then the other game will be traditional. But then the bad guys will be like, you know what? These guys are traditional. We're gonna push the envelope a lot of bit and become more of a modernized.
So basically, we're thinking kind of like Ruby Sapphire, where you played Sapphire, you were dealing
with the lane.
Fighting team. You were fighting Team Aqua in that.
Sapphire.
Yeah, because they wanted to get Kyogre, and in Ruby you're fighting Team Magma. We're thinking like kind of the same thing. So say if it was like past and future. Past you're fighting the future guys, and future you're fighting the past guys.
Or one can take place in the future, one can take place in the past.
or something along those
Something
lines.
along those lines.
It'd be really cool if they brought in some like timey-wimey time travel thing.
That'd be sweet.
I don't think Pokemon's really. They've done like dimensional. I mean, yeah, Celebi can time travel, and like there was that one point in the game where you could go back in time like a little bit with Celebi. In like Gen 2.
Like, oh, I need to go back to.
But I could see them doing something kind of like the legendaries have some. There's like a gap in time or something, and that's what causes this clash of values to become even more aggressive.
Yeah.
I guess. So we put some thought into the Pokemon. Like I said, the legendaries, we kind of have a rough idea of what they could possibly be, as well as their typings.
We literally spent like 2 hours.
Anyways, the camera loves to interrupt us.
Back to the starters. See, we spent like 2 hours coming up with the like lore for 5 Pokemon. We want to try and get as accurate as possible. See what kind of Pokemon, like what kind of animals are like.
Yeah, like area. Literally to figure this out, we researched animals that are native to Spain, like species that are kind of like
common-ish.
That are common and that really only are in Spain, or like variants of species that are only in Spain. Like there's bears in a lot of countries, for example, but like what ones are more specific to Spain. So we kind of try to put ourselves in their shoes and think like they might if they were creating new Pokemon.
Yeah.
So the first one for the grass type starter, we think it's going to be a little bear, because they have a variety of bear species in Spain. They're usually smaller from what I read. Something probably the size of a black bear.
Black bear, yeah.
They're not that big, but they're not exactly small either. Like they'll still kill you.
We have
bears will kill you.
Yeah, bears
we got a lot of black bears. They usually stay away from people.
Yeah.
But occasionally we see them out in the yard or walking through the streets of town.
He's like, hey, Boo Boo.
As well as deer walking.
Boo Boo, I think it's time I introduce myself to that picnic basket.
The grass type we think will be a small bear, and when he reaches his final evolution, we theorize that it was highly probable that it's going to be a grass and fighting type, because bears can be aggressively territorial and they will fight any invaders into that territory. Grass because bears live in the forest. It's bear shit in the woods. Based off of Pokemon's past and just our knowledge of them, knowledge of Game Freak, knowledge of some of the creators, the content creators for Pokemon, who are awesome, by the way. Like I've read and watched some of the interviews with these guys, and they just actually seem like genuine people.
Almost like they know what they're doing.
Despite how, they don't let the success go to their head. They're actual people. All right, on to the next one. Another animal that is native to the more mountainous regions of Spain are rams. We kind of stretched the book on this one a little bit. We're like, okay, what would be a cool typing for rams, since they have a good population of rams in Spain? And we're like, nothing seems to make sense. Obviously,
but
the secondary type is going to be a rock type. But we're like, okay, they're fast, right? When a ram charges, it's fast. And what do they do in anime when something's running really fast? They get like surrounded with this fire energy stuff. So we're like, cool. Flaming Ram, who's also a rock type. I could see this one as being the first evolution, being a multi-type. It's not that uncommon anymore. They do it all the time.
Yeah.
Except for the water starter, usually ends up just being pure water until it finally evolves. So yeah, Fire Rock Ram. And lastly, water. In Spain,
beavers.
They have beavers. We have beavers here. They have beavers there.
They have beavers everywhere.
When it evolves to its final evolution, I could see them doing it as a water ground, or even from its initial evolution. I don't know if they would, because they've already done Swampert as a water ground type. But here's the thing. There's like 3 starters that when they finished evolving were firefighting. Like they were really beating the dead horse on this one.
Yeah.
Too much firefighting. So yeah, they could probably go with another water ground. They probably will if we end up actually being even marginally correct. It probably will be a water ground. But we're just gonna say for all extensive purposes that the first evolution will just be a pure water type. Those are our predictions for the starters. Again, like I said, we just kind of based this off of information we had from Spain, animals that are there, their habits, where they live, and as well as just knowing how Game Freak kind of thinks a little bit. Now we will move on to the part that you probably actually care about,
The legendaries.
Our theories for the legendaries.
Now I know this has been probably beaten to death with the bird. Well, actually, yeah, with lots of birds.
Lots of burps.
But we think, because we looked it up.
Insert burp here. Oh, I remember where it came from. Okay, so here's what we were thinking. Do you mind if I hijack this because I remember?
Yeah, let's try that. Well, all right, let's do it this part first. So, one part that we know for certain is that bulls and like bull riding is very important to Spanish culture.
The running of the bulls and bullfighting. Bulls are a thing in Spain.
So bulls, it's no bull that is going to be a bull.
I would actually be surprised that if they ever made a region out of Spain, if one of the legendaries wasn't some giant flaming bull.
Which is what we're getting to. It would either be a bull with the primary typing being ground, and then a secondary typing of fire, or it would be a minotaur, which I think is what like.
Minotaur's Greek though.
Yeah, but I feel like they'll find like
I feel like it would just be a big beefy
giant bull, like with like giant, like small, like he skipped leg day, but he never skips chest day.
He's a buff bull, not to be confused with Buzz Bull.
Not to be confused with. His face still creeps me out. They definitely would need to do the bull if it was a Spanish region. Or unless they just went off like some, because Pokemon can also do this, go on like a magical tangent that makes
no sense.
It makes methodological sense, but like it has nothing to do with Spain.
Yeah. Now, with the bull specifically, we're thinking that, so like say the games were past and future, that would be the legendary for past, because bullfighting and the running of the bulls, it is a large part of Spanish culture and has been for a very, very long time. So that's kind of where we came up with that.
With like the New Age, we're just kind of like, New Age, flying things like hoverboard, like how hoverboards are supposed to be, or like hovering cars and all that. We're like, obviously, it needs to be like some kind of flying thing.
But here's why. Madrid, which is the capital of Spain, has, as far as I know, the largest airport in Europe, possibly even the world. Because of this, because they have so much air traffic, we're like, okay, if it's Pokemon Past and Future, the future version should have something to do with this large focus on the Madrid airport and essentially aviation. So we're like, okay, the legendary for Pokemon Future, what would it be? Aviation, flight, bird. It'll be a steel type. That's what we're thinking.
Obviously.
And we kind of bounced between flying, which would just be the obvious choice.
It would just be like another Skymory if we did that.
Yeah.
So I feel like because it runs and airplanes run and operate on electricity,
it would be electric.
Type.
Plus, in a lot of the Pokemon games in the past, they have made it so that the legendaries have some distinct type interaction.
Yeah, so we got...
so we assume that this one would be steel and electric, whereas the Minotaur or the Bull would be fire and ground. Because if you think about it, ground is super effective against electric. And fire is super effective against steel.
Yeah.
So competitive-wise, that would win. Now, it would make more sense as if, say, the Bull was ground fire and the bird was steel flying. That would give flying beats ground, fire beats steel. That would be just kind of like a crisscross.
But then there's Kyogre and Groudon, which Kyogre dominates it. So I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible for one to dominate the other completely, but that was our logical conclusion. So yeah, Bull was the past, the tradition, and a giant mechanical bird.
You play Yu-Gi-Oh! Cyber Dragon? That's kind of what I'm thinking.
But better.
So, I'm not sure what you mean by
this is kind of just like a speculation, but in Gen 7, they did confirm, though, that Gen 8 is going to return to the normal gym system. It's not going to be the trials like it was in Gen 7. But Ryuki is a character that you meet later on in the game, and he says, oh yeah, I'm a Dragon-type trainer from another region. I'm going to be a gym leader. So I came here to practice and to try setting up a gym. And I've got a small hunch that he is going to be a gym leader in this game. Just kind of a gut feeling, regardless of what they base it on. Whether it's Spain, whether it's the UK, whether it's Timbuktu for all I care. I've got a hunch that he's going to be one of the gym leaders, and he'll probably be the 7th or 8th, because in Gen 7 he used Dragon types. So I could see it as probable.
And they're decently high level too.
Yeah. And they're high level, and whenever they've done Dragon types, like Gen 2, if she was the 8th gym leader, Gen 5, he was the 8th gym leader, then in 5.2 he was the 7th. So I could see Ryuki being probably the 8th gym leader of this generation. or the 7th gym leader of this generation.
Or maybe like an Elite Four if he made his way up.
Or yeah, he could be the Elite Four champion, kind of like Lance.
They can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want. It's Pokemon. They're a multi-million-dollar company.
They're just like, hey, you want more Pikachus? Here you go. But yeah, so that's kind of like our thoughts on where we think the 8th generation is going. It is the 8th gen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8th gen. A lot of times people were like, oh yeah, they're going to stop after like 7.
And they're like,
They make too much money.
they're just
Yeah,
like,
why would they?
Ha! Money. But yeah.
As long as these creators are still alive, and these guys aren't that old, they're in their 30s and 40s. You know, they all started when they were like 18 and 20 on this project. They were like brand new to the industry because the industry was basically brand new. These guys aren't going anywhere.
No.
Not for a long time. Like seriously. So we have many years of content to look forward to. And I mean many.
Many.
I mean, there's over 1,000 Digimon. Pokemon's only at like 800 and something. I can't remember right now. I usually know it, but it's like 2 in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
But point is, we got some more coming. So, like I said, we're probably not right. Full disclosure, we're probably completely wrong. But if we're right, that's cool.
If we're right, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have any closing thoughts for today?
I got one that we really got to start adding.
What?
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
This has been
Game over. And just in time, too, because the camera's about to die.
Woo!